it's a bit late for working on TVs, but I have been. This is the LG 32LE 4900. No, it's not a plasma, it's one of the very early LED TVs. Millions of these, and I mean millions, would have been sold, and sadly that also means that millions, and I mean millions, would have been thrown in the recycling centre by now because they all suffered with the same fault. And the fault is, well, it could be one of a few things. You could lose your picture, you could lose your audio, you can lose picture and audio, you could lose just HDMIs. So there's 3 or 4 variations of what can go wrong with this, and as you can see at the moment, faffing around here trying to get a picture on the HDMI. The customer said his sound just went. They don't use HDMI, so I don't think he would have noticed that his HDMIs have not been working for several years. But on the Freeview, he's getting no audio. Can't get the audio to come back, but the Freeview picture is still there. I can't get a HDMI picture, and I can't get any audio to come through. 3 HDMI inputs on these. These came in, well, 3 different sizes. There was a 32, there was a 42, and I believe there was a 50. There may have been a bigger one, may have been a 60. And they all suffer with the same old problem, and it's a problem with the main board. Now, normally you would think, well, just go and get yourself a main board. Well, 2 problems with that. There's the main board, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just zoom in on the processor, which is covered by the big heat shield. You can see it here. And it's the processor behind that. The solder balls behind after this TV being on for years. And I think this TV is about, what, 13 years old? Something like that, maybe a bit longer. They crack, they tarnish, don't make connection anymore, and strange things starts to happen. So the ideal thing, as I say, would be to get a new main board, but you can't get them. These main boards have been in demand for the last, well, probably 6 or 7 years, and they're just not available. And if you do get one that is available, it's only going to have this problem eventually, so it's not really wise to buy one. And anyone that's got one is selling them for an absolute premium. The only thing you can do is reball the processor. It's quite a big job. I wouldn't do that job. It's pointless just getting your hot air station out and trying to reflow it. Yeah, you could get it to work for a day or 2, maybe a month or 2. Anyway, I send the board off to a friend of mine that reballs it properly and professionally, and then he sends it back to me. So this is actually part 2 of the video you're seeing now. I've installed the main board, which has now been reflowed, so I'm just putting it back together, and I'm going to test it to see if we get a picture on the HDMI. I wasn't recording this for a video, and I suddenly realized, well, this is quite interesting. If I stick it up on YouTube with the model number of the TV, people that still have this television set, and this is a TV set that's in main use by the customer, so God bless him on deciding to have it repaired rather than go and spend hundreds on a brand new 30-inch TV. Some people still in 2024 are very happy to have their old original TV. A couple of TVs I've repaired recently have got a lot of sentimental value. So there are people that will throw them away, but there are some people that are very happy to have it repaired and keep it going. So I've just plugged in my Blu-ray player here, and I just want to see if the HDMI comes back, and obviously it does. It says no signal there, but that no signal message is being generated by the Blu-ray player or Blu-ray recorder. I haven't got a microphone set up. I wasn't turning this into a video for YouTube. I just suddenly decided late at night, when recapping some of the footage of the work I've done today, that it could make an interesting video. So even though you can't hear it, I promise you the audio is back. Just trust me. And obviously you can tell that the picture is back. So the board has been not reflowed. The board has been reballed. And the processor is, well, you can't say it's as good as new, because this processor, for heaven's sake, is 13, 14, maybe 15 years old. I forgot to look at the label at the beginning because there would have been a date on it. But I think this is going back a bit. And you can tell it's quite an old TV because of the bezel. But the backlights on these, it's an edge-lit set. The early LEDs were all edge-lit. Then they went to backlit. Now they've kind of favoured edge-lit again. but they did last. The backlights very rarely failed on these. I don't think I've ever had to replace any on this sort of set. Looks like an old plasma, but it is actually an LED set, and the picture quality is really good. I'm zoomed in here, so you're seeing a few lines, but that's to be expected. So if you've got one of these TVs, if you've got this model, or its variations, in other words, if you've got an old LG LED TV that's got HDMI issues, it's got sound issues, picture issues, it is a main board. I doubt very much you'll find a main board anywhere. Best to get it reflowed or reballed, actually, and then you're okay.